opening and closing her heart.
Ooh.
What I do, I'm big on this. I'm big on it because I give you pep talks. I give myself pep talks.
Oh, your pep talks are the best.
Because, okay, it's like we're responsible for our own experience, and yet somehow we have this magical ability to be able to open someone else's heart or to close their heart. And I think we were also talking about the specialness of the marriage relationship and how deeply intimate it is. I think that in that deeply intimate relationship, there's no one on the planet who knows better what triggers my wife and what opens her heart. And at least it should be that way. Like, I should be the person who knows best what opens her heart and what triggers her, because I see her all the time. And so I see all the things that trigger her, and I see when she's like light and free and open and joyful and what, so that's that intimate place. And for some reason, there's another habit. I don't even know where this one comes from, if it's just, if that's also from the media or what, but there's this habit to like push your partner's buttons, like you push in there. And we all know that it happens because there is that phrase, pushing their buttons. And people talk about it. It's like, oh, he's always pushing my buttons and she's always pushing my buttons. Like, we know where every single button is. And for some reason, because we're idiots, we're pushing the wrong buttons. We're like pushing I'm going to push angry button. No, now she's yelling at me. What? Wait, what? Now I'm going to push this button. And oh, no, now she's like, doesn't even want to be around me. And we're not pushing the good buttons, which are the heart opening buttons. And so I think that's really, in a way, I don't know, maybe if I could sum up all of my job as a husband or anyone's job as a partner in a marriage, like if I were to sum it up with like one simple instruction, it would be to like just open their heart with everything you do, everything you say, just open their heart. Like, and if it doesn't work, you try to open their heart and it doesn't work, because you're not going to be perfect every time, then like change what you're doing, do something else, and just keep trying to open their heart. And don't do any of that crap that closes their heart, and triggers them and shuts them down, even though you might, like one excuse is like, well, I'm just being honest. Right? Like, well, I know she doesn't like to hear that, but I'm just being honest. Like that kind of thing, which, I mean, from my own experience, that's like something I might think to myself, like, well, I'm just being honest or whatever. It's not my problem that she's angry. Like, that's her responsibility, which is a whole nother thing we could go into, is like thinking that, oh, well, she's not taking responsibility. She's not taking ownership.
Oh.
But I just wanted to at least hammer on this one a little bit of like opening their heart. That's the key to like one person solving all the marriage problems. If one person is just dedicated to opening the other person's heart, that relationship is going to thrive.
Well, how do you open someone's heart?
Well, this isn't my advice. This is Paul Friedman. So he's one of the gurus that I enjoy, and you know that I enjoy him. I've quoted him before, but he says every day she needs to hear, and this is for women. So every day she needs to hear, "You're beautiful. I love you. I appreciate you." I think that's those three. And it's not like as simple as just like saying, like writing them on a 3x5 card and like reading it to her. Although that would probably be better than nothing, and it would definitely be better than like getting angry with her. But finding unique ways in your own way of communicating with each other, of communicating to her every day, "I love you, I appreciate you, you're beautiful." And I don't know what advice he gives to women of how to open a man's heart, because that's not something I mean, I know as a man, I think a lot of times physical touch is just really useful in itself. That I think a woman's touch can really open a man's heart. And there's probably more good ideas on that, but that would be a starting point, anyways. I love you. You're beautiful. I appreciate you. If it's sincere, if it's really sincere, how could that not open her heart?
Well, this is where I'll take it. Going back to you're the creator of your universe. To me, you use the word, if you're sincere. How are you? How do you do it? How are you sincere? So the way to open someone's heart is by opening your heart first. And I really want to go into kind of low man-women differences here, but how do you open your heart? That's also a weird concept. And I'll since for the sake of this being a simple recording, you have to have a practice of opening your heart, and also remember energy goes where attention, or energy flows where attention goes. Right? That's how we say that. And people heard the idea of chakras, and chakras are something that's it's a very real thing. It's a physical thing in your body. You have certain centers in your body that they're like in your nervous system, in your spine, that activate certain part of your nervous system. And you could literally put your hand on your heart, and put your attention on your physical heart, and in that center, that center in your body. And if you slow down your breathing and you just put more and more attention there, more energy goes there, and more activates that center. So I want to make it very practical. Like it's just like putting your energy and attention there. And even if you just put your hand on your heart and look someone in the eye, you will change. Your energy will change. How you speak into them will change, and they'll feel it. And that's kind of like when you say, if you're sincere. If I'm just saying it because, oh, I love you, and it's from your head, and I say I love you because Daniel and Christian told me to tell you that I love you. She's not gonna feel it. But if you just drop in your heart and you connect to your heart first, that's the only way you can reach somebody else's heart. And there's so much science behind that. There's the whole heart Math Institute where they study the heart and the actual vibration and waves that the heart, and expands like 9 meters outside of your body, and it's kind of like musicians. If instruments are not tuned in the same frequency, they're going to produce horrible music. So if your heart is in the frequency of anything other than love, you're going to create bad music. How do you relate to that?
I think there's something cool. There's like a cool little, like the universe is actually a little bit kind to us. It's not always kind to us, but in this way it's kind. That I think there's a way that if you're just doing something more than what you were doing before, your partner will notice that based on like relative to your own skills. So like if I'm not, let's say I've never meditated before and I'm meditating for the first time or something, or I'm not really feeling my heart, but I feel a little more than I used to, or I'm still just reading a 3x5 card, but at least I'm like trying. Like, I think there's a way that your partner is going to be like really forgiving, and forgiving because they kind of know like, oh, you're doing something more than what you used to. And so it doesn't have to be like at the highest level or the top level. every time. It could just be like a little bit more than what you used to. And that's where the sincerity is kind of felt, and where I think forgiving is the best word. Like, she's just kind of forgiving of your follies and your shortcomings, because she appreciates that at least there's something there.
That is so well put. I really like that, because just so in essence, what you're saying is the only person you need to compete with is yourself, and the only person you need to compare yourself to is yourself. Are you doing better than you did yesterday?
Yeah, and I think that's, yeah, and then then you have to keep doing better than you did yesterday.
Well, yeah.
You never get to a place where you get to just stop and rest, but yeah, I mean, I think that's an important kind of like way to approach it. It's like instead of like just thinking, oh man, I gotta like open my heart 9 meters. Like, okay, you did like half a meter. Good job. Like, she'll feel that. She'll feel your half a meter heart and be like, well, that's more than like 0. So, it's still like,
yeah.
It still depends how deep in a hole you are, of course. Like, because there is also the other thing that can happen where if you've been fighting a lot and you're really deep in the hole, she's not going to trust that. She's not going to trust your love when you do start to open the heart.
This is
where she's going to be like, what is this? Is this like, you haven't been doing this for the last 6 months or a year or 5 years, 20 years. Now all of a sudden you're loving to me and you're trying to open my heart. Like, so there's also that to be aware of.
That's a great point. I think we need to talk about that more, because the way you build trust, I think, in a relationship is by, one, consistency, and two, I think responsibility. What's what builds trust, right? If she can see me taking responsibility for my experience, for what I'm creating, for how I'm contributing, she's not going to trust that at first. Almost the opposite. She's going to question that. She's like, wait, what's happening right now? She might consider it even as manipulative, in a sense, like he's trying, and just kind of what I said with working out. At first, when you start working out, it might get worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
It's she's even gonna become even meaner to you. It's like, what the fuck you doing? Stop doing that. Why are you doing like? So it's very important to know that that's part of the healing process, part of the healing of the relationship. So don't get discouraged if that starts to happen.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like a lag time, like working out or something. Like, you put in the work, you might not see the result tomorrow, but you will see the result. There's just sometimes a little lag when reality catches up to it. So have some faith.
Yeah, it's really powerful stuff. I'm curious, because this, like, there's not a lot of people to talk about this out there. Most of the advice out there that I see, there's so many. Especially because I'm in the circle, and also many coaches and therapists. My Facebook feeds every second person some kind of therapist or coach. And so much of the advice out there is like, well, when you find the right person, you will know, it will feel good, it would be easy. Like, that kind of advice I find scary and dangerous, because you're looking for someone outside of yourself to be your savior. And usually when you first fall in love, it is easy and it is wonderful. And then 6 months in, it starts to get hard. And you're like, wait, what happened? Where's that person I fall in love with? And well, you created each other. And yeah, why do you think that this is some kind of hidden secret or something of self-responsibility and self-honesty and ownership and all these things in relationships.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you nailed it earlier that I think part of it is just like the time and place we are in history and our culture that like that's a general theme of avoiding responsibility. I think, yeah, maybe it doesn't sell as well. Like if you tell people, how do you fix your spouse? Oh, you're the problem.
Oh, we
It's
should
a
create
harder sell, maybe. It's
Whoa.
I think it's a so I think it's a hard sell to. I think there's different people. I think some people hear responsibility and they just light up. They're like, yes, that's what I need to do. I need to be more responsible. Show me how to be responsible. Like, I want to do that. I want to take control of this because I know that if I take more responsibility, I'm going to be able to create what I want. And I think there's other people that respond to the victim thing where they're like, can I be more of a victim? And they light up about that. And they're like, yes, show me how to be more of a victim. Like, give me more reasons to blame someone. I think people kind of select in different directions like that. And so I'm not sure it's necessarily for everybody. I mean, I don't advise going the victim path. But I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe some people just like whatever. That's to them. That's better than doing the work, doing the hard work. It's like, and that's their choice.
But what's beautiful about this? This could be our sales pitch. How to fully transform your partner, and what's again going back to what I first said is when you change the way you view the world, your world changes, right? So if you change how you view your partner, all of a sudden they're a different person. And that's why I started where I started, because like if you start looking at your partner as this is the most sacred, intimate, divine relating of my life, you start seeing them as divine. And start seeing them as this most important, and to get the spiritual, like this is the most important relating of your life, because it is the most important in your life because it impacts your life, your day-to-day life. I think Jordan Peterson talks about how to taking care of the little things in your life, like how you have dinner with your family. If that time you spend every day it's tensions, your life's going to be horrible. You take care of that, your whole life will change, right? Like if this 1 hour you have with your family to sit on the table, have dinner, if that's a wonderful time, your whole world will change. So from that sense, this is the most important relationship of your life, because and if you start seeing it that way, all of a sudden start looking at your partner differently, start seeing them, oh yeah, they are beautiful, they are powerful, they are magical, they are smart and intelligent and sexy and all these things. And you start seeing them for their gold instead of all the ways that they make you miserable. And that all of a sudden your partner is a different person because you're seeing them differently. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm thinking that if you're thinking this is like a how-to, like that's the title, how to transform your person.
I'm just thinking.
I think we could even go deeper into like how to open their heart. Like I think we could actually break it down even more. So we talked about maybe like from the very like starting point, like going way back, getting that daily meditation practice. And then you were kind of hitting on like really opening your own heart and finding that way to have love just flowing through you, because I mean that's the easiest way to fill someone else up with love is when love is just like flowing out of you, and you're just like, hey, here's some love, and they're like, wow, thanks, that feels great. So obviously that's a starting point. I don't know what order these steps go in, but I would definitely put in there something about paying attention. And we kind of talked about like going into their world and connecting with where they're at. But I think in order to even know where they're at, any of that, like there's got to be a huge step of like paying attention to her. So like before you can even open your heart, you got to know where's her heart at. And I think that's like a very doable task of like always knowing where your partner's heart is. I mean, like if they're not here right now, actually, even right now, it's like my wife's at work. She's working a night shift. Like I already kind of know where her heart is probably somewhere in kind of like stress and kind of closed, even though I'm not physically with her. But even more so, if I'm physically with her, I can like see, really put my attention on her. I see her body language, see how she's breathing, see how she's holding herself, and I can know pretty well. Like, is she tight? Is she open? Is she preoccupied? Is she present? A lot of those kind of things, I can even like ask myself those questions, and I think that's the like a really important like first step in opening her heart is actually kind of like contacting her heart first, like coming into contact with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't again help myself slip here into male-female dynamics and the polarity. But the beautiful thing
we could talk about that too, because I definitely think there is something to that. I mean, there is a masculine way and a feminine way of doing this, definitely.
But the usually more often than not, the women, they'll tell you, like, you don't have to guess. Women are pretty verbal and expressive. So even if you're questioning, they'll usually tell you in one way or another that if their heart's open or if it's closed. Like they're way more expressive. Men are, more like stoic and stuff. So, but yeah, paying attention, presence, right? You got to be present. So again, which going back to meditation, it's hard to know and learn how to be present if you can be present with yourself first, right?
And you have to get out of your reactivity to be present. Like in that super reactive like pattern, I'm totally like I've lost track of everything. Like I'm only in my reactivity. My thoughts are racing on this thing. Oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. Oh, why did they say this? Like I'm so absorbed into it that I can't even see the trees around me in the forest and like, oh, the sun's shining. Oh, it's a beautiful day. And there's some birds over here. And like this beautiful day could be all around me and I don't even know because I'm just so self-absorbed. And so coming out of that is a huge part of presence. Sometimes actually, I mean, I think just like literally just look around and be like, oh, this is a beautiful day. Like look at the trees and the clouds and that can be a great exercise in itself.
Yeah, again, I think the simple things don't like. I have a reminder on my phone that kind of goes off every 15 minutes actually, and it says take a breath, right? So it's just like, and it's that simple, and it just snaps you out of you got stuck in a pattern, and whatever the stress of the day. And when you're in the middle of relating with your wife or your husband, it works both ways. Taking a breath, it's one of the best way to snap yourself. So you don't have to do some crazy Cirque du Soleil gymnastics to be doing these things. It's actually this simple. But when you get stuck in the right and wrong, but she's wrong. She has no right to talk to me this way. She has she or he, whatever. He did this and this, and it's a hopeless. You've already lost the battle before you start. I mean, it's not a battle. We already lost the intimacy before it started, right? If your starting point is of right and wrong, you're not getting anywhere productive or intimate or fun or playful or sexy or connected, There we go. Take a breath. So you just
There it is.
There it is. But it's magical, right? You took a breath and it's like, yeah, let's just be here, right? We're trying to. I don't even know that if we're trying to get something across. We're just both really passionate about this subject, so we can talk about this.
It's fun
all
just
night.
to kind of explore it. We didn't script out what we're going to talk about, but it's, as we talk, it's fun to be able to be like, oh yeah, and then there's this part of it, and there's this part of it. Because it does seem like it's a really multifaceted thing, but
it is. And
I'm fully on board. I fully believe it's a one person can do. I'll point out if two people are doing the work, that's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with two people who are really committed to making an excellent relationship. But I believe even if one person is just could care less, they're I don't know, I don't even know if I like this relationship. If the other person's like, what's that? Oh, I'm going to open your heart every moment. I'm going to be the best husband I can possibly be in every moment. And just fill you with love. It's that other person's going to crack eventually.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing about humans. One thing I heard, I think it was Joe Dispenza on some interview, and he said, if you're working on your relationship, you're doing it wrong. And it was just wait, what? I shouldn't work on my relationship? And he's like, if you have the need to work on the relationship, or if you need to process something, means you lost touch with your heart. Excuse yourself, go in your corner, reconnect to your heart, and come back. But if you're in a place where you have to be back and forth and arguing and work trying to solve something, resolve something, you've lost touch with yourself, with your heart. Apologize, say, hey, I've lost touch with myself, I lost touch with my heart, I'm gonna go in my corner, reconnect, and come back when I can. I think I love what you said, your heart, when your heart is overflowing. I like this saying, empty your mind and fill your heart. Because we usually, our minds overfilled, and that's where the right and wrong, and we know all the things, and we know we're right, and we know what it's all the A, B, C, D. Our mind's just so full, and our heart's empty. Just empty your mind, fill your heart. So it's you want your heart to be a full cup. It's overspilling and overspilling into the world. And the beautiful thing with a full cup is you can add to it, right? That's the whole analogy they use for the full mind. So that means if my heart is so full that I don't need her to love me, right? Because I'm already filled with love, it's overspilling, then I don't need her to love me, because I don't need anyone to love me, because I'm full of love, and I'm filled up already, right? But the magic of that is, it's so weird how this works. The more I'm overfilled with love, the more love's coming back my way.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And that's when you don't even need it anymore. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good, but thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a big one. Like when he said, if you're working on your relationship, you're doing something wrong. Which again, it applies. It takes two people.
Yeah.
Uh,
I even think like you can kind of even go a step further of like, even if she's like, no, like it's okay, you can work on like, I'm ready to hear some of your complaints. Like, still don't just unload your complaints. Like, still go to your corner. Like, I think you can err on that side of like I'm gonna handle my own crap, so much so that um that even if she's like begging me, like, no, just complain about me, please, just complain about me, I'd still be like, no, I'm not gonna complain about you because I know it's my crap. Like,
unless you turn into a sexy game.
yeah, I mean, so I mean, I think there could be a place for like, well, whatever, like processing it or even turning it into like something that's sexy or intimate or like, like really deeply connecting. But if I were to, if I were to lean one direction, I'd lean towards like, just be extra careful with your crap.
Well, that's one place where I felt miserably, and you know this because uh, I've come to you. But if I'm seeing my partner and my relationship is this very most unique relating in my life, most special, most divine. If I speak badly about that, it's kind of if you're religious and you believe in God, and then you go and talk shit about God to your friends. God's such an asshole, fucking piece of shit. Like, like I can't believe he treats me that way or this or like. Yeah. So that's why like saintliness, godliness, divinity. Like if you put your relating and your partner in that level, how do you talk about whatever, even if you're not religious or spiritual? Like what's at that level that you don't speak badly of that? Because when you do, you're tainting it. It says more about you, if you will, than it says about them. So I can humbly say, like I've come to you many times to talk bad about, and in my mind, it's like, well, I'm venting. Once I've vented, I'm letting it out. So once I've let it out, I can have more space to be with them. But I don't know that I subscribe to that anymore, because if I'm venting it out, it means I haven't put them, because I never vent about the divine. You know what I mean?
I think venting can reinforce the victim frame.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
you're just sharing your victim story in a way, right?
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. Well, you've been awesome. Where at times like, okay,
I I just want to say though, like that sacred thing that you just hit me with that. I was like, oh, sacredness of to wow, to like just hold your marriage as sacred. Like, I don't know if you can get there, if you can like tap into that kind of feeling of like this is sacred. Oh, I'm still just kind of like sitting with that. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play this game, it sure helps, and it also takes practice, right? Like just like you go to church every Sunday, if you're religious, and you pray to whatever. If you pray or you meditate, whatever you do this kind of regularly, right? So to feel connected to something bigger than yourself, right? Or bigger than ourselves, and to to feel that, we need that daily practice. And the same way you need to look at your relationship with that same daily practice. I just don't know. I don't know any other way around that. You know?
Yeah. You're inspiring me right now.
Oh, I like that. 'Cause, yeah, you inspire me too. I like Daniel sends me some pep talks once in a while. Like, you can do this. That's what.
Just keep going.
Oh.
Just keep going. You're gonna fail. You're gonna keep. You're gonna fall off. You're gonna get back into your reactivity. You're gonna get triggered. Like that's gonna happen again and again. You just gotta keep going. Just gotta keep going. Get back on it. Don't even like stop and worry about it. Don't even be like, oh, I did a bad job again. Like, don't even like pity yourself. Just stop what you're doing and start doing the right thing. Get back into it. Like for like let's say meditation. It's like, oh, I've tried meditation so hard. It's hard. Who cares? Just tomorrow meditate. Just tomorrow's a new day. Wake up in the morning before you do anything else. Go sit on a cushion, meditate. Done. Like, doesn't matter what you did in the past. Like, start now, keep going.
Yeah.
That's my pep talk.
The question.
You somehow you got me into pep talk mode.
Yeah. You're good at this, man. The question I like to ask myself is like, how long? Like, how long I fell off the horse. Well, how long I'm gonna be off the horse, right? Like how it's given until we get enlightened, I guess, that we're gonna keep falling off. But then for how long? And to me, this is kind of the game I play with myself. Is to, well, maybe before it took me 2 days to get back on the horse. Now it takes a day and a half. Now it's a day. Now you get to a point where you could catch yourself in real time. It's like, oh wait, here I'm doing it right now. Like, oh wait, I could stop right now. And that's the true magic. That you could see it playing in real life. Get back on the horse.
Keep going.
This is awesome, bud. I think it's how should we wrap it?
Yeah, we've been going a while, huh?
Yeah, we should do this. We should do this more often.
Well, we'd send some love to. I'm gonna send some love to you and your relationship, and if there's anyone else out there watching this, you got to imagine if someone was watching this, they're probably in some painful experiences in their relationship. So, sending some love into that.
If someone's in pain, I think the best news that anyone has ever given you, it's your responsibility, which means you can do something about it. Right? And that's liberating. You can do something about it versus you're helpless or hopeless. And you can turn this around, and it's up to you to turn it around. And if you want to turn it around or whatever you want, that's your responsibility to. If you want to turn it around, you can. And that's empowering. And we have been in this painful place. I have been in this very painful place the last couple of months. I feel you and know that you can turn it around. You are responsible. It's the best news you've heard all day.
Best news.
Oh. Well,
That's a good note to end on.
yeah. Well, love you, bud.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.